Hey Peculiars, welcome back. My name is Amanda, the Peculiar Brunette, and today we are going to be talking about the best herbalism books so you can incorporate herbalism into your spiritual practice. Not every single book on this list is going to be considered a herbalism book, but I think it's important to have a wide variety of ideas and different viewpoints and different perspectives so that you can get a whole idea of different things. So today we are going to be doing that. If you are new to this channel, we talk about all things peculiar, like nature spirituality, living in harmony with the seasons, moon magic, herbalism, living life on purpose. So if any of that sounds familiar to you, make sure that you subscribe. I'll put links down below so that you can follow us on Facebook and be a part of our community there, or you can sign up for the Magical Monday newsletter. All right, let's go. Okay, so one of the first books I'm going to talk about today is called Body into Balance. And it says on her biography page, the author, it's her name Maria Groves, it says on there that she actually has this as a textbook for certain herbalism schools. And this is actually probably my favorite book. I did it first. Maybe I should have done it last. But, but it's my favorite book. I like that it talks about restoring gut health, calm the nervous system, boost immunity, detoxify, reduce inflammation, and increase vitality. Because I feel like those are kind of top things that everyone's normally looking for. What I love most about this book is that she starts with the basic foundations and then digs deeper into specific ailments and their corresponding remedies. Plus, I think that the photos and illustrations are really beautiful and inspiring. And it's kind of like a comprehensive herbalism reference book. And you can see here that she's discussing specific ailments, and then she actually has breakdowns of each herb here too. Like the lavender and plantain she's got shown here, and it's also got like the key properties and benefits and how to like prepare each herb. The next book on the list is The Green Pharmacy. This has actually been sold over 1 million times. I really, really like this book. His name is James Duke, and he has a PhD in botany, and then he also worked with the USDA for over 30 years. And his book this is really interesting, especially if you're looking for a specific ailment that you want to treat. What I love most about this book is that each section is categorized according to ailments by alphabetical order. This is incredibly helpful if you're trying to remedy something in particular, like an earache, hangover, fever, like heartburn. And he also includes his personality in each section, so it doesn't read like a straight textbook. This one doesn't have a lot of artwork in it or specific herb profiles. This one is mostly my recommendation if you're looking for treatment of a certain ailment. You'll find yourself referencing Green Pharmacy quite often. All right, so the next book I have here is Healing Herbal Infusions by Colleen. She is the blogger from Grow, Forage, Ferment. I always get those like in order wrong. I think it's on here though. Yeah, Grow, Forage, Cook, Ferment. And I really like her. This one is best for the recipes that are inside of it because it's got all different kinds of tinctures and salves and recipes that I actually love to use. So like I kind of said already, this one has so many good recipes in it. It's got natural plant-based herbal tinctures, salves, teas, infusion remedies for skin, immunity, digestion, colds, and other common ailments. Another reason I recommend this book is because herbalism books normally contain ideas and concepts, but this one actually has step-by-step recipes to create your own herbal concoctions. And I'm actually using this recipe right here currently to do my own infusion for my hubby. So the next one we have is The First Time Gardener, Growing Vegetables. So this is one of the ones I was talking about where it's technically not an herbalism book. It's really a book more for beginner and intermediate gardeners. But this is from Jessica, sorry, I don't know how to say your last name, Sowards, but she's from Roots and Refuge Farm. She has a really big YouTube channel. I love her, I follow her, I recommend her all the time. So when she put out her first book, I was really excited to get it, and it was everything I wanted it to be. So some of my favorite sections on it are the soil section where she talks about, don't call it dirt, it's called soil, not dirt. And even though this isn't really about herbalism, I think that if you're like me and you have an herbalism habit, it's easier to just grow your own than trying to buy it, especially when you're trying to buy it organic so that you can consume it. So this is a really cool book. I cannot recommend this enough. The next book is called Braiding Sweetgrass by Robin Kimmerer. This is such a beautiful book. This is another one where this one's more for the storytelling and for the inspiration. It's very poetic. She is Native American and a professor and a writer, and she kind of incorporates her Native American heritage into the scientific aspects. And it's just really beautiful. You'll totally be inspired when you read it. I cannot say enough good things about this. I'll put a quote up here from the beginning of this book that I just really love, that I think will get you excited about this book. So you can't talk about herbalism books without mentioning Rosemary Gladstar. This is one of my favorite books of hers. It's called Medicinal Herbs, A Beginner's Guide. It talks about knowing, growing, and using 33 pretty common herbs. I like this one a lot. I think Rosemary Gladstar is kind of known as like the American godmother of herbalism. So everything that she has in here, she's been practicing for like over 30 years. Everything she has in here is really knowledgeable, really interesting. Can't recommend it enough. Next, I've got the Encyclopedia of Herbal Medicine. This book is called an encyclopedia for a reason. This thing is massive. I mean, I don't know if you can tell how thick this is, but it's pretty thick. And the breakdown of each herb in this is amazing. I think it goes over like 550, I think it said, different herbs. This thing's legit, you guys. I really love this. So I had someone on TikTok ask me which book, if I could only pick one of these for a beginner, which one would it be? And I would definitely have to choose this one. First off, you guys know how much I love science, backing things up. So it's got research, it's got what it looks like in its natural habitat. So it's got like pictures of it, which you can see there, which I wish they were a little bit bigger. But it's got the parts that you actually use, which look at that breakdown. That is so amazing how it's got the fresh, the dried, like if it's the bud or the leaf or the root. And then it's got key preparations and their uses, and then like what remedies and self-help uses that you would use it for, which is amazing. Next up, we have Lawns in Meadows. I'm obsessed with this book. I just bought it a couple weeks ago. I think it came out in 2020, but I hate lawns. My family has to listen to me complain about this all the time. I hate lawns. They aren't good for the environment. They're super bad. I saw somewhere that it was like equivalent to concrete because it doesn't provide anything nutritional to the pollinators. The weeds that grow in it, you're always having to buy like killers that are super bad for you. I hate mowing it. It's just like, oh, it's so invasive too. It's always trying to get into my gardens, my flower gardens and everything. Anyways, that was my rant. But I hate lawns. So I was really interested in what it was that I could do to incorporate less lawn into my yard. So we live in a subdivision, so we have an HOA that has certain rules on what our yards can look like. And what I really liked about this book is that he has ideas and suggestions for what to do when you live in an HOA and ways that you can get rid of lawn and incorporate a meadow instead. One of the reasons that I think this is a really good herbalism book is because he talks about all different kinds of plants that you can put in your meadow, which some of them are things like, coneflower or echinacea, yarrow. He has a whole list. I guess I'll show that to you in a minute. But he has a whole list of different things you can incorporate, and a lot of them are herbs. And I just think that is super wonderful to just have that right in your yard. So much easier. This book is cool. You should check it out. Next up, we have got the Backyard Herbal Apothecary. This is from Devin, is the blogger for Nitty Gritty Life. So she's a really cool blog. I love it. I follow along with her all the time. The real value in this book is the recipes, because there are so many different tinctures and salves and whatnot in this, and the recipes is really what's a cool thing about this book. So next up we have the Practical Herbal Medicine Handbook. I think this kind of says it all. I mean, this thing is pretty small. I mean, it's like the size of your hand, but it is a reference book, and I think that's what's kind of cool about it. It's got different herbal remedies in it. It's got a breakdown of different herbs, and I think this is just one to kind of keep on hand with you. You can like keep it in your purse if you're doing any foraging or anything. This one's pretty cool. It's a good little reference guide to keep on hand. If you want to buy any of these books, I put links down below to make it easy for you. Today we are going to talk about, you can learn herbalism and incorporate it into your spiritual practice. Next book I've got on the list is called, that is really bad. The next book on the, it's an angle here, there we go. Talk about the best 10, 11? Okay, all right, okay. So the weeds, it's like, ooh. Anyways. Next, God, the light, good Lord. Next up, we've got the Backyard Herbal Apothecary. Try again. This book is called